on my computer. And we'll look at a few different things here. And just a quick overview. This is a based off the Qt wallet, which is the original Bitcoin wallet. Still, you can get that. And what you get an overview. This is where we are. Send, receive, transactions, create an asset, transfer an asset, manage your asset, and then restricted assets. We can see here.
And this wallet is what?
This is
QT?
they call it the QT. This is the original. You own it. You can get it from the Ravencoin.org Foundation. Okay. This was a forked off the Bitcoin wallet. This is what I use for my, it's stable, it's safe, you can encrypt it, which I highly suggest you encrypt all your wallets. And I use it, it only works on a PC. Okay. or Apple PC. It's not for a phone. There are phone wallets. I'm not going to suggest you get the phone wallet right now. Or the Mac. So we'll talk about that.
Good for Mac and PC.
Yes, and this is the wallet where it's on your computer. It's non-custodial. You own it. You have the private keys. It's got the 12 word seeds. Mm-hmm. You write down every friggin' thing that it tells you when you're installing it. Right. To keep it safe. And you can do pretty much a lot of stuff with this. We'll go look at some other stuff too, okay. Other wallets where you can do the same functions. But on the left, we have the menu. We see here's my balance. I have about 1,470 Ravencoin in here, divisible by up to 8, just like Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. You can see right here, this is the price in Bitcoin. Ravencoin is 172 Satoshis right now. These are the past 5 transactions. We were talking briefly about the dividend payments. Mm-hmm. You can see here, this top one says RVN. I received 12.9 Ravencoin to this Humble address. I own Humble. There was a payout made, and I received Ravencoin using the dividend function.
Interesting. Somebody
else sent me this. I don't know what this is. This just came in a couple of, back on the 16th. The main asset is Sleepy Bear. And Fan Club is the sub asset. We'll take a look at that. You see another Ravencoin, another Humble payment here. This is 50 Ravencoin that I sent over to my Mango Farms address. Mango Farms is the online wallet that I use, and we'll get into Doug and Mango Farms. Very big supporter and great guy. Another payment. Here we have all the assets that I own. And I own about 200 in this wallet. This is a wallet I've had for 3 years, and people make tons of assets for fun.
Okay.
So that's, and we'll go through those on another screen. If I want to send Ravencoin, this is not the best screen to look at this. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to open this up here. Give me a second. I'm going to share the other screen. Okay. Now we can see the wallet a little better. So if you see the overview here, you see a lot more assets, the transactions and everything. If you want to send just Ravencoin, just like you pick an address. This is my address book. You enter your address here. You can label the address, put in the number of Raven, you send it. If you want to receive, just like Raven, you can create an address. This is the same as it is in Bitcoin or any other standard crypto. You can get these kind of QT wallets for most crypto.
Okay.
Now, let's say I want to create an asset. So here, first thing to do is create a main asset. We want to name it TBB, the Ball Boys. Let's check it. Nobody has it, okay? We could create this if I wanted to. Now, this name can be up to 30 characters. We suggest it's got to be at least 3 characters, and it has to be unique, and it can't be special characters. Certain special characters it can be. I can put an underscore in there. No, I can't put an underscore. I can put a dash. Nope, I can't put a dash. Let me do it. It'll tell you you can't do the things. But I could make it up to 30 characters. Now I like keeping it as short as possible because after that, if I want to put a sub asset like Sleepy Bear's sub asset fan club. This entire thing is limited to 30 characters.
Okay.
So the shorter you keep your main asset.
I got
I put in there. Now, if I don't put in, if I already have an address, I want to put in, if I want to keep all my assets in one address, I can do that. If I don't put anything here, it'll just generate another address within my wallet. And I tell it how many to create, between 1 and 28 billion. Now, reissuable. This means, let's say I create 10 of these, 110. I can then later on down the road issue more of these up to 28 billion. If it's not, if I take that check mark out of there, then there's 110 or 1 or 20. They'll never be able to reissue again. Okay. Now, add IPF text ID hash. This is where you can add and attach the information to your asset. Now, I'm going to give you a quick overview of that. We're going to stop right here. Let's pick an asset. Now, one that I created that's kind of cool. So let's go down. Now, you see these are just regular assets that other people made that I've collected in my wallet. These are admin assets that I have created and own in this wallet. Okay, so they're differentiated different. And there you see that's a main asset. That's a main asset with a sub asset under it.
Right.
Okay, and I created those. But we're going to go down. There's a couple of them. I created that one. And I want to look at, oh, it's under RVNFT. Where is it? There it is. RVNFT. Now, that's the asset. Now, oops, let's stop right there. I must stop. When I click on it, this wall, I can right click on it. I can send the asset. I can open the IPFS in browser. Well, when I clicked on it, it automatically did that. It comes over to the browser. Now, this right here, when I uploaded this file to the interplanetary file system, it returned this hash.
Okay.
That's the location in the interplanetary file system of my files, of this data. This right here is the gateway. There can be, this part of the web page that I use to get to it. There's a bunch of different gateways you can use to get to it. So when I go here back to my asset and let's see what the NFT is attached to my asset. Give it a second. Let's see. This is a little big. What it's doing now is it should be downloading, but of course if we look here, Estevan Jordan Jr. at Casa Bell Solo #1, a rare personal moment from Estevan Jordan Jr. of Rio, Jordan, the first son of El Pache. And then it's same thing in Spanish. And let's see if I can get this to play. Which of course it's not going to do because I have got the thing, I'm on Wi-Fi and not directly hooked up. Let's look at this. Here's the cake coin I mentioned before. I go to here, here's what Kate is backed with. Okay. I click on that, attached to that coin via IPFS, this file here, is the explanation of Kate. If I go down here to Humble, there's one I know also. And a lot of these you don't have to have that attached to it, but you can.
Right.
So, oh wait, Humble might be at the top because Humble comes up with the white paper explaining what Humble is. And Humble is a mining farm that pays out Raven. So all of these or any of these, how long you been in computers?
Oh, well, I mean,
have you ever heard of the cult of the dead cow?
No.
Cult of the Dead Cow is an old school hacking group, famous group, great guys back from the 80s and 90s and the 2000s. Well, guess who's into Ravencoin? Cult of the Dead Cow. And that's one of their assets right there. And they made Count Zero as one of their members. There's his card. And they made these playing cards for the Cult of the Dead Cow. And there, for each one of the Cult of the Dead Cows created their own card. Someone created Craig Wright as a fraud because obviously people don't believe Craig Wright created thing. So those are those, you know, you can do anything with assets. So that's where you put the hash from the IPFS. And when I create that asset, that file would be attached to that asset. If it's non-reissuable, I cannot update that. It doesn't have to be just a file. It can be a series of files or multiple files, and we'll get into that a little bit more on the Mango Farms website. Basic overview of how you create an asset. Then if I want to create a sub asset, I go to sub. I have to own the main asset, DTM, direct to market. That's one of my business that I'm working on. I wish to create. I can then put name a sub asset under DTM. And create a sub asset. I could create a unique asset under that.
Right.
The qualifier, sub qualifier, and restricted assets are used for the securities restrictions, 144 restrictions and things like that. Messaging channel asset, which we haven't talked about, is one of the functions of Ravencoin is you can send messages and you can broadcast messages to holders of assets.
So what are the numbers there?
Costs to create.
Okay,
500
so
to create a main asset, right? And these get burned. 100 for a sub asset, 5 for a unique asset. Messaging channel sends, if you create the asset, costs you 100 assets. 100 Raven. Qualifiers are 1,000. Tag or sub qualifiers are 100, and restricted assets cost you 1,500 Raven.
Okay.
Now, if we go, give you an idea. Let's go here. And now this is an asset explorer that one of the community members has created. And to date, there's been 34,026 assets created since this ability was implemented. You can see here the name of the assets. You can see here whether there's an IPFS and a planetary file system, or you can actually do a transaction ID. This is not the only explorer to see assets on. This is just the first and really good one.
Right.
See here, this shows you what's attached to the IPFS. In this case, it's a website and the qualifier asset. This explorer does not show you what the TXID attachments are, but if you were on the Flow blockchain, Flow is a different blockchain, a different coin. I encourage everybody to look at Flow, FLO. It is very much a sleeper coin, but they have the ability also to store data on the blockchain, much like Ravencoin, and Ravencoin has made themselves the ability to store the Flow transaction attachments so that it's not limited to just IPFS storage. Ravencoin wants to be able to do as much as it can. You can see here, so if we went to Club and the Swallow whatever that is, IO, I believe that is a Korean site. It's been a while since yes, it is. One of the Korean sites using Raven. And Korean are very much into Raven, as I said. So if we translate this, hash power forum, it's a messaging site for forum for crypto stuff, and obviously very much into Ravencoin.
Okay.
And and you can, and now like RVN FT is one of the Ravencoin NFT sites who is minting NFTs for many artists. There's their main asset. Here's all the different NFTs that they are minting. Some of them are big. They're going to be slow to download. If we go Look at these, you can see them here. And you can go directly here by looking at these, and you can see where the addresses that holds these and things like that. So you can really explore the blockchain. Ravencoin is not a privacy chain. Okay, we're not Monero. You can see the transactions, you can see the addresses. Doesn't necessarily know who's owns what address,
Right.
but right. But it's not a privacy coin. So that's will allow people to check out assets and see what people are doing. And there's unbelievable. I mean, this is not just pictures and things. As I said, grain chain. Well, here's another one. These are cool. Vincent. Vincent is a company out of Israel that is a winery. And what they do is when they put a wine in the barrel to age, you can pre-buy the bottles. If you're a wine person, here you go, here's bottle 192 of barrel 108. People buy these. Now they can either then sell them later and trade them with other people that do wine, or they can then turn those in when those when those wines are mature and put in the bottles, they will be sent those bottles of wine.
So you're essentially paying for them in Raven assets.
Well, I don't know. They're actually paying for them in whatever fiat. You go to the website, Vincent website, you buy your wine, credit card, money, whatever, in any country you want, and you're sent these tokens. So you then, holder of the tokens, is your proof that you own those bottles. And you either will take payment, just like futures. You'll either take that oil or you'll sell that oil future. And this company's been doing this for a couple of years now. So, there are companies out there. This is what I'm talking about, conducting business with Raven. They have to own Raven to create a sub asset every time they do a new bond, and to do transactions. And so their Raven is worth more to them as a business function than it is as selling the coin.
So Raven truly is super utilitarian. Like there's a lot of uses.
Blockchain for business. It is built for use case. And we have just scratched the surface. I mean, barely scratched the surface. All right, let's do something else real quick with wallets. Something that everybody can get their hands around. Okay, so people want to play around, do some things. This is Mango Farm Assets. This is created by Doug Pepe. Doug Pepe got involved in Ravencoin. He's a lawyer. He wrote the first paper. We needed, when we were, that's like Bitcoin, we needed a legal opinion stating that Bitcoin was not a security. Doug's a lawyer. He's also a teacher. That's part of his things. He wrote the paper for free. He loved Ravencoin. He has now become a coder. He created this website. He created another website. He's now employing 30 people and got $1.2 million in funding to build his businesses using Ravencoin. This was his first, and it's free. And this is Mango Farms Wallet. Explorer, viewer for the assets and things like that. You come here, anybody, and create a wallet for free. Okay, we'll go into my wallet. There's some unique things about this. And I don't think it'll show. Yeah, it won't. 1 second. All right, and we can see I don't have much in here. I've got the 50 Ravencoin that I sent over here. There's the price. He just upgraded this site, and I have not pulled in from my old wallet to the new wallet, but I can send. So let's go here. Let's see. I want to receive. No. All right, new address. Let's copy that address. We're going to go here to my wallet. This is my wallet on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to select an asset to transfer. Let's do a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. I'll put my address in there. I'm going to put you know what? I might already have an address for that. Yeah, I do. I'm going to go here. No, I'm not, because I don't know if that's the new one. Mango, and label it so I can use it in the future. New, and I'm just going to send one. Now, another unique thing about Ravencoin I'll mention since we're sitting here. Not only can you attach an IPFS data or file to when you create the asset, you can also attach it to the transaction of an asset. So like when you buy an NFT on the Ravencoin asset and you receive that asset that has the NFT and it's got the IPFS attached to that asset. Well, the transaction of when that, I know at least one site, and I'm sure all the other ones do it, I'll have to check out, when the marketplace that you bought that NFT as is sending you that asset to your wallet, they attach a certificate of authenticity right here. Okay. So that not only do you have the asset and the IPFS, you have a certificate of authenticity showing that you are the rightful owner too, the date, the time, and all, or whatever they put in there.
Right.
So you can have two. You can have it attached to the asset itself, but also a note to the transaction, which is very important, because if you're sending if you're conducting business and sending all these assets around like Vincent is doing with wines, they may want to have a note attached to the transaction itself explaining what that transaction is in some way. So I can do that. So we're going to go ahead and send this. My wallet's encrypted. So hold on a second. I believe in security, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And then I'm going to send one of these to that address, which is the address. And transaction fee right there is going to cost me 0.00407 Ravencoin. Ravencoin's what, 10, 11 cents? So you can do the math.
Yeah.
Now, if we come over here, this may take a second to show up. But yeah, it's going to take a minute, but it's going to, my asset's going to show up here in a few minutes here, in a minute or so here. And now, had I done this, say this wallet to another wallet, it would have gone bang as soon as I sent it.
Okay.
Because the only reason this one's taking a few is because Mango Farms does if someone were going to attack the blockchain, the farthest that they can go back and attack, and I don't want to get too far into this, but there's something called a 51% attack. And that's basically if you got enough computing power, you can overwrite blocks and put in your own transactions. Well, Ravencoin, the farthest you could ever go back is 1 hour, because it's locked every hour. Okay. And so, but once you get past like 6 blocks, you pretty much know that transaction is never, and there's no chance, this doesn't happen. It's not happened. Has it happened on other coins? Yeah. Could it happen? Yes. You always have to be, security wise, but it's not, it's not something that way. But to err in the point of caution, I know that Doug and Mega Farms do a couple of extra checks before they allow you to see your asset. So that's why there's a delay here.
Sure.
No, we're not seeing. So that asset was sent over to this. I could come over here, and we're going to go over to this is the main. We're going to switch over to Testnet. Okay. Testnet, for everybody knows, is if anybody doesn't know, Bitcoin has, when all coins have them, it's a parallel network. And it's not real. It's where you can create test Raven. You can create test assets and do your test stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to, exactly, because you don't want to burn 500 Raven and screw it up.
Right.
Attach the wrong file to it. So they're going to go here. They're going to go ahead and get you. And now this has got to confirm. Mega Farm says transaction issued. Okay, so they're issuing me some Ray. It's going to take a second. But so everybody here can come. Now you can do the same thing on Testnet here. I can start this wallet in Testnet. get some testnet coins and do the same thing. I don't want to, it's a lot easier for people to do it here. And I'm just waiting for that balance to show up at Mango Farms. There it is. There, I got 4,000 Ravencoin. So now I can see I don't have any assets here. I want to go here. Let's see where we're going to do this. All right. Asset builder. I'm going to call this asset DBB1. It's going to be reissuable. Let's go ahead and do 100. It's not going to be divisible, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do points, but I can do that. All right. I'm going to do, now I can do a single file, and this is what I'll do. Let's go over here. Can I grab, let's do this. There you guys are. Let's, God, I can't copy that. I can't just grab that.
I got it on lockdown. I don't know.
Save images. Yeah, it looks good. Where am I? Let's go over to, if we're doing this in Ravencoin, we'll just do it here. All right. So I can go and drag and drop. That's called channel something, wasn't it? There it is. I'll drag and drag that file here. So that's going to drop. That's going to the IPFS. Now I'm going to issue it. I have, that's my pin I set up when I created my thing. Oh, it's done. Transactions done. There's my transaction. I can go to the blockchain if I want to go here. And I wanted to go, well, I'm not, I have to go to the testnet, but I could put that in on the blockchain and you would see that be issued. If this was done on the regular thing here, you would see right here, new. This one was just created 2 minutes ago, Dengen Smokers Club. You would see that asset created right here, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing. So let's go back. Oh, okay, it should be done. I hope I got done. Hope I didn't screw it up. I might have. Yeah, I do want to close it. All right. Maybe I didn't create it. Hold on, let's try it again. PBB. 100. Single file will be fine. Let's drag this. Okay. Issue asset. I should have been 278. Okay, yeah, it is. It already existed. See, you can't do it with the same name. So, let's, okay, yeah, there isn't anything to do here. Cancel. How do I close this now? Yeah, there we go. Since we're on testnet, they should be showing up here while we're here. Let's check and see if this one's made it here yet. There's the one we sent over.
I got
okay, to our came on main wallet. Now, if I click on that, it's going to show me. I hope it shows you how many there actually were made. It'll show you the IPFS, which I don't remember who made this. I have no idea, but it's the Anarchist Cookbook.
Right.
It's just a link to the. Yeah, everybody knows that. And it's the same thing. Yeah, and then the ball boys will be showing up here. This balance is going to go down as soon as it updates the Explorer by the 500 that we created.
Right.
So anybody can come here, play around with, create their own assets. It doesn't have to be. Now, the sister site on this, let's go to the sister site. RAV, Ravencoin, IPFS.com. This is Doug's storage site that they created. And you can store any, now I pay for a site, all right? You can come here and say, I pay to have, for the amount of storage I have. There's a, because I use mine quite a bit. And I've got some files up here. There's like 100, and you pay in Raven. I pay 3 Raven a month for like a gigabyte of storage here. And the reason, now I don't have to pay to use IPFS. I can do it straight myself. I've got it on my computer. I run a node on my little Raspberry. I can do all my stuff for free. It doesn't cost me anything. But I know that Doug's got a cluster of computers out there, not just his, but around the community, and 5 other Ravencoin IPF clusters that all support each other and back up each other. So the files that I put in here, I know are going to always be there. So for me, it's worth paying 3 Ravencoin a month to have all that extra. And like this is, there's the hash that and if I want to look at that file, this is what was attached to the one I was trying to show you earlier.
Sure.
That's my business partner in my Ravencoin business that I want, that we're working on. So let's go ahead and close that. So I upload anything here. I can take this hash. I can go over here when I create an asset and just drop the hash in there. There's the TBB that we created. So if I created one here and I did FFFF, and I went here, I can just do the IPF hash and put that hash in there, and that file will be attached to this.
Okay.
So so this is how you manage and do everything. Like you as a YouTuber, you guys would be uploading your files to here. As you create your videos, you upload them to here for storage. Then you come over here and you create your TBB episode 5-3- whatever assets. And then you send that token to the third parties, Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube. And then they pick up your video from your asset off of the IPFS and choose whether or not to display it. They don't own your file. They don't control your file. They only decide whether they want to show it on their site or not. If you don't want it to be on their site, you don't send them a token. Now, you also encrypt that file. And so you can send it with you. Nobody can just come here and see it unless they have the key.
Okay.
So that's one aspect of this.